We got to double on back and see a little bit more of Michelle and Cameron. The the dancing was a little bit awkward, the height difference. It was. But I'm still thumbs up on this couple. I really am. You know what? I liked that Cameron brought up his own red flags, right? And it is a red flag that he's never been in a relationship past 6 months. And Michelle acknowledged that it was a red flag, or at least a yellow flag. Okay. Can't nobody tell me it's a green flag when you this old and never been in a relationship more than 6 months. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. Okay, because I'm gonna need some proof that you know how to get along with a person longer than 6 months. I am. I'm gonna need proof that you know how to get along with a person more than 6 months. Okay. I'm not saying you had to have been married. I'm not saying you had to have been engaged, but I want you to have gone through some relationship things first. It's no different if I was hiring you for a job. I want some job experience. I do. I do. If you don't have no job experience, then you need to just go to McDonald's, Burger King, do something like that to get some experience before I hire you for a top high paying job like marriage. Marriage is a high top paying job. Okay. It's serious business. It's serious work going inside of a marriage. And I'm going to need more than 6 months experience of relationship experience. So any of you drop it down in my comments saying it shouldn't be a red flag, go on over there, over there, over there. I'm going to tell anyone else though, do not marry a person who doesn't have more than 6 months relationship experience. What you're going to need to do is you can date them. If they don't have no relationship experience and you want to give them relationship experience, just like let's say someone comes along that doesn't have any job experience, right? I might be willing to try you out as an intern, as a temporary employee, right? As a minimum wage employee because my risk is low. I'm paying you minimum wage, you a temp. I can fire you anytime I want to, right? I'm not going to give you no big task. And I can do that for a period of time. And if then you prove me wrong, I can hire you on full time. So if you're a person with no relationship experience, 6 months at his age, doesn't mean you're undateable. That's fine. I can date you, but I'm not going to marry you in any time less than a year because I'm going to need for you to get some relationship experience and I'm going to need to see how you do that. So kudos to Michelle, who, as Nikki would say, I wouldn't want to settle. She's settling right now for a man with no experience. She is because she's going to have to teach him some things he doesn't even know. But at least he's willing to admit that it ain't a green flag. At least he's not walking around here delusional and he's honest. So I actually appreciated that about him, right? And Michelle's brother, when he talked about her, he portrayed her like she likes to go to Disneyland and karaoke bars till 1 o'clock in the morning. So it's going to be interesting to see how these two bond together. Maybe she'll bring some fun to Cameron's life because he does appear a little bit stiff, right? And maybe Michelle will bring the fun because that's what her brother said he does. And I'm gonna tell you, these combinations sometimes work out well because a guy like Cameron, who might have some social awkwardness to him, um, he may need a fun person to bring the fun to the relationship. And what I'm wondering though then is what does Cameron provide to Michelle? Will he provide the stability that she wants? She's already said she wants a man who's committed. Okay. So if he can at least bring the commitment, which is Michelle has said is her number one thing, commitment, which he says that's what he's coming with. I feel hopeful for these two because they are bonding on a very foundational principle, which is they really are tired of dating people who don't want a seriousness. And Cameron finds it awkward to find people. So I'm sure he does want to be in a committed relationship. So Michelle said she was in a 3-year relationship and then she broke it up. So it took her 3 years to realize that the guy she was with and was going to be engaged to isn't the same guy she should marry. So we're going to need you and Michelle to do that a little quicker here. Okay. You're not going to have 3 years. You're going to only have whatever this is, 8 weeks, and then you're gonna have to decide, are you all in or all out? But I think they're both going to give it their all. I really do believe they're going to give it all. And Michelle is saying they both were saying when they got in that bed in the honeymoon that they're feeling safe, safe space, safe space. So still two thumbs up on Michelle and Cameron, two thumbs up. But we're gonna cycle through Felipe and Tori. Like I said, I'm sticking with what I believe, which is Felipe gonna be all in, and the wild card is gonna be Tori. She's really holding the power. And I'm gonna tell you where I felt this season. I mean, this episode. At first, I was, will Tori like episode one? I was like, will Tori like Felipe? Then she was like, oh yeah, he's cute, he's hot. I was like, okay, Tori, well, I'll believe you. I'll believe you, but something about all the other fakeness to you feels fake. And so I don't really believe your words, but I'm gonna give you a chance. Second episode, I'm like, okay, she's staying consistent. She still looks like she's interested in him. So okay, good. This could look good. Could look good. This episode, what ended up happening to me was I went back to the fakeness because what I start to feel like, okay, Tori, it's almost too good to be true. And you know what really did it for me, y'all, was when Felipe say it's tradition in a Brazilian household that when you cut the cake, you give up the cake to the most important person in your life. And he gave the piece of cake to Tori. And everyone was like, oh, that's so sweet. But then what Tori did was and what some people can consider a very sweet moment, she went and took the cake and gifted the cake to her new mother-in-law. Some people on the outside could say that was a very sweet gesture. And she gives these really warm embraces, kind of like what her sister said about her. It's almost like a motherly love. So now what I'm wondering, Tori, is what I'm seeing now, this care and consideration that you're giving to Felipe in this moment and to his mother and his family, because it is sweetness. Is it just not, is it because that's who you are and that's how you treat others, which is great? But what that would mean is it's not special for Felipe. See what I'm saying? Because Felipe gave you a special piece of cake that said he felt you were the most important person. But instead of holding on to it as your gift and holding on to what he's kind of giving you, a piece of him, a piece of his love, in that moment, you naturally gave it away. So if Tori, you are a natural caregiver, like your sister said, and you are a natural person who likes to give, then what I'm saying is, then I can't mistake your giving to Felipe as part because you actually really like him. Now I'm wondering, Tori, is your care and concern Felipe going to transition to the type of love you need between a husband and wife? The amorous type of love, not the friendly type of love, or the type of love you seem to be you seem to be able to freely give to everyone. Can it turn into the special type of love you'll have for your husband? So Tori, unfortunately, I'm back where I was beginning, which is I don't know if it will, Tori. I'm starting to believe what I thought in the episode, that you are going to say no at the very end. You're never going to say anything bad about Felipe. You may never ever bring up anything that you don't like about him, because I think he's going to work really hard and try to change everything about himself that you don't like. And even when he does that, it won't be enough for you. That's what I'm predicting. That's what I'm seeing. But we'll see. Marissa and Adam, I'm still a thumbs down on them because I think what Adam wants is a person that will kind of just be his twin, his clone. And I just don't see Marissa being that. She's popping fireball shots. Like, come on, fireball shots. I just don't see them being compatible. And I don't see her falling into his lifestyle. He's very regimented, very regimented. And I don't see her being able to lose so much of who she is in order to please him. And I think he's going to want to be that person. I really do. And I'm going to go back to their very first encounter. Redos don't work. This man didn't call her for a reason when they met for that brief time in the bar. He didn't call her because more than likely he was turned off then by her drinking. So why now would he overlook it? But I'm going to stick with what I say, and that is he will sleep with her. He absolutely will. He will sleep with her, and then when decision day comes, he will say no, and he'll do her just like he did that girl in the interview process and called and told her that I know I strung you along and I cooked you dinner and I invited you over my house and I did all these things, but in the end, I don't want to be married to you. And that's what he's going to do to Marissa. I'm sticking to my original gut feeling. I really, really am.